Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Cyber Seniors webinar. Today, we are going to be focusing on the best ways to use the internet. Now, before we get started, I'm very happy and proud to say that today's webinar is sponsored by Breezeline. Breezeline is the 8th largest cable provider in the US, offering internet, TV, and voice services to residents and businesses in 12 states. Their business is getting people connected, much like ours is here at Cyber Seniors. So we are very happy to have them as a sponsor today. So before we get started, we will see a quick video from Breezeline.
Wi-Fi your way home, powered by Flume Home Pass. Technology that spreads ultra-fast Wi-Fi to every inch of your home. We make having a Wi-Fi supercharged home easy by including a SuperPod with your Wi-Fi gateway package. Learn more at breezeline.com.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about what Breezeline offers and what services are available in your area, after this webinar, you can visit them at www.breezeline.com. That's BREEZELINE.com. All right, let's get started. All right, so as I said, today we are going to be looking at the best ways to use the internet. So what we'll cover today, we're going to start by covering key terms. So tech terms you should be familiar with, specifically ones surrounding browsing online and using the internet. Then we're going to be talking about navigating online. So an overview of internet browsers and search engines, what they are and what they do. Then we will be talking about what to do online. So if you are newer to using the internet and getting started, we're going to overview some great things you can make use of online, things like video calling, online banking, and online shopping. And then lastly, we're going to touch on cybersecurity. So some tips and information for staying safe online while you're navigating the internet. So obviously, the increased accessibility of the internet has led to more people getting online. And as a result of that, the internet has become a significant part of our lives as a whole. However, many of us are still trying to figure out how to navigate and use the internet in a way that seems safe and worthwhile. And that's exactly what we're going to try to introduce you to today, is ways that you can navigate online and stay safe and make it something that you really enjoy doing. We have a quick quote here from Stephen Hawking. "We are all now connected by the internet like neurons in a giant brain." So obviously, the internet has allowed us to become a really global community. We can connect with people and share information within seconds to people on the other side of the world. And it's this amazing tool we have. But it's really important for everyone to be able to have some tech literacy and access. And so that's what we really want to provide here for you today. So we'll jump right in with these key terms. So starting off, internet. So the internet is the vast network that connects computers all around the world. I know that is kind of vague, but that's really all it is. It is what connects one device to another, a cell phone to a computer, in a way that allows them to share information and data, and that allows us to communicate through them. Next is internet service providers. So internet service providers such as Breezeline, Cox, AT&T, and others provide internet access to homes and businesses for a monthly fee. Internet service providers offer a variety of internet connection types, from cable to DSL and fiber optics. So these are the companies that give us access to the infrastructure that we need to be able to connect to the internet on our devices. Next, we have modem. So a modem is a device that connects your home network to the internet. So if you have internet at home, it's that little box that plugs in to the wall. And yeah, that's what allows you to connect to the internet. Now, next is a router. Now, a router is usually used in conjunction with a modem, and a router is what allows you to use other devices on your internet. So rather than just plugging one device in, you can use a router to create a wireless internet connection known as Wi-Fi and connect multiple devices to your internet at home. And then, of course, Wi-Fi, just as I just said, it's a way of connecting to the internet wirelessly. It's similar to kind of technology cell phones use. So it uses wavelengths to send that information to your computer and connect you to the internet. Next, we have internet browser. So when we are navigating online, we're usually navigating to websites. And to do that, you need an internet browser. That is a computer program that allows you to access websites. Web page. So a web page is a single page on the internet, usually containing text, images, or videos. So say if a website is an entire book, think of a web page as a single page in that book. And then a website is the location of a collection of related web pages. So it can be called a website, a site. Think of website then as the larger book, and then the web pages are what make up a website. Search engine. So a search engine is an internet-based tool. You might have heard of them, such as Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And they're used specifically for searching the internet for information. So they allow you to search basically the catalog of web pages that are online and find what you're looking for. A couple other terms here. So downloading. Downloading is the transmission of a file or data from one computer to another over a network. Usually this happens from a larger server to a user device. So downloading a program onto your computer like Zoom or Microsoft Word. You can download photos, files, music online, stuff like that. That is downloading. And then on the other end of that, we have uploading. So uploading is transferring something such as data or files from a computer or other digital device to another device or to, say, a website. So for instance, when we put a video, when someone puts a video on YouTube, which you might have heard of, that is called uploading. We are taking information from our personal device and putting it elsewhere online or in a cloud storage software, stuff like that. And email. Email is a way of exchanging messages using the internet. It is short, of course, for electronic mail. So it's really meant to replicate what mail is in real life. It uses often a lot of the same kind of terminology. So say rather than a physical address in email, you have an email address. But yeah, it is mail, but online. Social media. So social media are websites or mobile phone applications, things like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, dedicated to sharing information and content between multiple people. So it's really an individual community-based website used to communicate and talk to other people, share photos, videos, thoughts, and stuff like that. Now we are going to be talking about navigating online. So some of the terms we just went over and those key terms might come up through this part and through the rest of the presentation. So that's why we wanted to go over them. So hopefully they'll help us get through this next part a little easier. So we're going to start off by talking about internet browsers. So we heard the definition before, but again, an internet browser is a program on your device, be it your cell phone, tablet, or computer, that allows you to access websites on the internet. There are many browsers available, but for the most part, we use the internet browser that is native to our device. For instance, if you use a Windows device, a Windows computer, your device most likely uses Microsoft Edge. If you're an Apple user, you use a Mac computer, an iPhone, or an iPad, anything like that. You're most likely using Safari on your device. But regardless of the browser you're using, they more or less do the same job, and that's to connect you to websites. And this is generally what a web browser looks like. So what you'll have is when you open it up, you generally get to a home page. Mine is set as Google, and you can use that to obviously search the internet. But all web browsers have this little bar at the top where it says search Google or search or type a URL. And that's where you type in where the website goes. So www.cyberseniors.org, for example, if I type that in and press enter or return on my keyboard, it would take me to that website. And that's pretty much the basics, the bread and butter of using a web browser. Of course, there's lots we can do on there, but for the most part, we use it to search or type in websites to find stuff online. Now, a big part of how we navigate the internet is going to be through search engines. So really, rather than just guessing a complete web address or maybe typing it in wrong, having to look it up, you can simply type a few words into a search engine, ones like Google, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, to name a few, and it will give you a list of sites and web pages related to that search. So you could search for, cyber seniors, and it would probably give you a list, the top of which would be our website. So that's really easy. Or you could say search for something more specific, something where you're not really sure where you're navigating to. Maybe you want to make chocolate chip cookies. So you can search for something like a chocolate chip cookie recipe, and it will show you websites and web pages that would offer you a chocolate chip cookie recipe. So that's how you use search engines. They can really be used to find anything on the internet, and they're a great tool. The main way I think most people navigate the internet, definitely me. If you're kind of wondering a bit about how search engines work and what they do, though, you can think of the internet as a whole, as a library, going back to this kind of analogy we used when talking about websites and web pages as books and pages. So think of the internet as a library. Think of a website as a book and each web page as a page in that book. And then you can think of search engines as librarians. If you tell them what you're looking for, a specific book on a certain topic or a certain genre, they're going to work to find you the most relevant books, chapters, entries on that topic. So search engines are the librarians of the internet in a way. So how do search engines work, though? How do they find all of this stuff on the internet? So it's really a three-part process which occurs when you use a search engine. So the first thing a search engine does, say I type into Google chocolate chip pancake recipe. Obviously, I'm craving a sweet treat right now or something. But the first thing they will do is do something called crawl. So the search engine will crawl the internet. That means it's going to scour the internet web pages for words, keywords, and things matching your search. It's going to search for the word recipe, the word pancake, chocolate chip, and it's going to find all of the web pages that contain those words or related words. The next thing it's going to do is index them. So it's then going to take all of those pertinent URLs and websites that it finds, and it's going to make a list. And then the last part of what it's going to do is it's going to then rank that list. So it's going to take all the results it finds, and it's going to then give them to you in an order based on what it deems to be the most relevant. That's why, if I search something like chocolate chip pancake recipe, I may get something different than if I search pancake recipe with chocolate chips. Based on how you search for stuff, it may vary. The order of the results you get, may also be determined by your location or really small changes in how you type or phrase the query you're asking the search engine. But to put it all plainly, search engines take keywords, so the words you put into the bar, and they look for corresponding words. On web pages, they also will look for related words, so words similar. If I search pancake, they might also include in my search crepes because they're similar. So they'll do that as well. The search engine, when it crawls the web page, what it's doing is it's looking at all the visible and invisible content. So the things that we see when we're looking at a web page, but also the coding behind the web page. So it looks at everything that's on there. And then search engines like Google can even decipher the intent of your search and give you results accordingly. So that means, like I said, if I say searched flat tire, it may show me close by body shops or auto repair shops that could help me fix the tire. But if I searched fix flat tire, it may then assume by my search, even though I didn't say, how do I fix a flat tire? I just searched fix flat tire. that I may be wanting to fix it myself. And so it may serve me up first a video on how to fix a flat tire. So it's really, really smart like that. And the technology around it is improving all the time. So it's a really great way to find things online. All right, now we're going to talk about what to do online. So there's some things that you can do online that might be useful to you or enjoyable. Of course, there are plenty more things to do online than the things we're going to talk about here, but these are some great ways to get started if you're interested in using the internet, but don't quite know, what to do with it yet. So video calling is one great use of the internet. So a video call is, of course, similar to a phone call, just with the added benefit of being able to see each other's faces over video. So you can use it to connect with loved ones without having to meet in person. You can do this on a one-on-one kind of basis or in a group call, which allows you to host family reunions, have meetings with friends, and anything like that. Groups you may be attending, a book club, stuff like that can all be done over video calling. And video calling can be done on a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer, whichever you prefer or have. Now, there are a number of video calling applications or programs. So to make a video call, you have to choose an app or, as I said, a program that all participants either have or one that can download to their device. So you can use, for example, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, Google Duo, and WhatsApp. These are all apps that are available to you. It's just a matter of what you have and what the person you're trying to contact has. So you will have to be using the same program to make your call. And you can choose based on what your preference is. We're going to go over these ones that I just mentioned and kind of what they're compatible with in terms of devices and also how big of a group you can use on them if you're interested in doing more of a group call. So Zoom is the first one we're going to talk about. So Zoom is compatible with all Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS devices. So that's basically all computers, laptops, and desktops, and all phones and tablets. So whether it's an LG phone or a Samsung phone or an iPhone, all of those it's compatible with. And it has a maximum users on a call. So maximum people that can be on one call with a regular account is 100. So you can get a very large group on there together. Now, Skype is another one. It's compatible, again, with all computers and phones and tablets, and it has a maximum usage on a call of 50. FaceTime. Now, FaceTime is only compatible with Apple devices. So you either have to have an iPhone, a Mac computer, or an iPad to use this, and you can only make calls to other Apple products. It's mostly used as more of a one-on-one kind of video calling software. So whereas with Zoom and Skype, they may more often be used for group video calls, FaceTime is more often used for one-on-one video calls. But of course, it does have a max user number of 32. So you could technically have 32 people on a call, but most people use it for just one-on-one. The same goes with Google Duo. Google Duo is compatible with all devices, again, Windows computers, Mac computers, Android smartphones and tablets, and Apple smartphones and tablets. It does have a max users of 12. So again, this is more targeted for one-on-one calls, though you could have a small group call on it. And then lastly, WhatsApp. WhatsApp, again, is compatible with all devices, Windows computers, Apple computers, Android phones and Apple phones and tablets, and it has a max user on a group call of 4. So even more so focused on smaller one-to-one kind of video calling. But these are just a sampling of the video programs, video calling programs available. Of course, there are more. These are just some popular ones, and you can choose which one you want to use based on what you prefer, but also based on what the people in your life are using. So if a lot of people in your life are using Skype as their video calling platform, it would make sense that you would use that as well so you can connect with them. Now, the next thing we're going to touch on about things you can do on the internet is online banking. So online banking is, of course, more and more popular. Basically, every financial institution offers an app and has a website available to its customers so they can access their banking information online. And just so you know, online banking is more secure and advanced than ever. They use encryption to keep your information safe, and they're relatively very safe to use. So if it's something that you are worried about from a security standpoint, it's not really something you have to be concerned about. There are protocols you can take to make sure you're more safe, and we can talk about that at the end. But it is very safe. It also removes physical barriers that keep you from, paying bills on time or making deposits. You don't have to go to the bank. If it's a super rainy day and there's a thunderstorm, you could just do it from your phone. So it provides that ease of use, right? And when you're using online banking, it doesn't mean you can't go in to a branch anymore. It just gives you the option and the flexibility to access all of that stuff on the go or remotely at home. And so that's kind of why you'd want to online bank. You'd want to online bank because you can check your balance from everywhere. You can pay bills and transfer money to other accounts faster and on the spot. You can check any linked mortgages, loans, savings, or individual saving accounts, usually on the website or on the app. And you can check any investments you might have that are linked to your account. So it really gives you access to everything you could need about your bank account without having to go to a branch. So, right, say you want to check your balance, you don't have to go all the way to a bank. You can just look it up on your phone. So it's really helpful for smaller transactions too. Things that, would be a hassle to go all the way to the branch to get done, but you can do in 2 seconds on your phone or computer. And where to online bank. So of course, an online banking can be accessed anywhere with any device that has internet. Generally speaking, online banking websites are protected, as I said, using end-to-end strong encryption technology, though there are some risks in terms of where you do your online banking. So it is pretty safe to do your online banking at home. It's generally safe to use online banking on a smartphone when you're using your data plan, but you don't want to use online banking in super public places or on unsecured network access points like public Wi-Fi. Say you're at the airport and you're on the airport Wi-Fi. That is not a time where I would recommend using online banking, because you want to make sure that your network is secure. So at home or using a phone that's connected to your cellular data network, but do not use online banking on a public Wi-Fi because you do run a risk there if you would do that. Now, online shopping. So online shopping is another great reason to be using the internet and getting online. Again, we all love to go into shops, but there's times when it may be more convenient or easier to do our shopping online. And so it's just a great tool to have. So online shopping or e-commerce allows us to find and purchase products or services of interest online without having to visit a store. The benefits of shopping online is that you can access millions of products that you may not otherwise be able to find, right? So you go to your local shop and you're looking for some sort of, go to your local bookstore, you're looking for a really specific book, you can't find it. Chances are you can find it online. And so that's a really great feature of it. Many online shops offer easy delivery options. So if you can't make it to the store, maybe you're really sick one week and you really need a new charger for your cell phone, but you don't want to go out to the store and risk infecting other people, you can just order it online. You can also easily compare the prices of products between shops. That is another great thing about it. It gives you the power to make the best choice in terms of the price on a product. You can quickly look up the price of a new tablet on Best Buy versus looking at the source or your local store for it. So it really makes it easier to get the best price on products. And you can access online reviews, and allows you to make a more informed purchasing decision. So it really allows you to do the research you would want to do, especially when you're making an investment in something that may cost a bit more money, say a new TV. You want to make sure that you're reading reviews online, and you can find out what problems other people may be having with a certain product, which products are getting rave reviews, and you can make an informed decision that way. And just to give you some numbers about how popular online shopping has become, 18% of adults say they shop online at least once a week, compared to 57% who say they shop online less than once a month. 56% of Americans prefer shopping in physical store than online if everything is equal. And 74% in 2021 of people that thought that more of their domestic purchases would be done online in the future. In contrast, only 5% believe that would go down. So this is just kind of shows you the changing face of what shopping and buying products is. Things are moving online. There's still obviously shops that we can go into, and we should always support local businesses. But when the need is there, online shopping is a great thing to have. Now, we'll talk a bit about some online shopping platforms. Here we just have a kind of mishmash of different online shopping platforms. So Etsy, Poshmark, Best Buy, eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Walmart. And I'm going to go through a bit more in detail about a few of these, just to kind of emphasize the different types of online shops and different kinds of markets online. So Walmart, for example, Walmart is, of course, an example of a traditional retailer that has a large online retail operation. So they operate both in store, and they have a lot of stuff online. So if you went to a Walmart and they didn't have something in stock you were looking for, you could probably find it on their website from another location and get it shipped or sent to you, or sent to the store that's closer to you. Amazon is an example of an entirely online retailer. Amazon is a trusted online retailer that sells a really wide variety of products, really anything you can think of. And they are known for their fast and cheap shipping. So those are two kind of distinct categories. Traditional retailers that have in-person stores and online operations, something like Amazon, that is an entirely online operation. And then you have kind of another category, which is more marketplace, online marketplaces. So something like Etsy. Etsy is an online retailer dedicated to selling handcraft goods and vintage or antique items. So a lot of crafts and clothes, sometimes furniture, jewelry. And this is all either vintage or antique or handmade. So people start Etsy stores often to sell the stuff they're making. And it's a great way to be able to sell to a wider market than just selling, at a local crafts fair or whatever it is. And they have some really great, unique products on there. And then you have something like eBay, and eBay is an online marketplace. It's not too different from something like Etsy, but it's for buying and selling either new or used products. And they are known for their bidding feature. So on eBay, you can straight out buy products, or people can post stuff, say they have a really rare baseball card, can post it and people can bid on it, and the highest bidder will get it. So these are two examples of ones that are maybe not so traditional in format. They more operate as marketplaces. So say you'd go to the flea market to get something, or to an auction, but they're the online version. So not all online shops are the same or operate the same. Some have unique features, and you'd go to some for some products, and others for others. Like Etsy, you might go on for a nice, personalized birthday gift, whereas Amazon, you might go for just some basics if you needed a new book, or you needed to bulk order a bunch of soap or something. I don't know. But yeah, those are some popular shops. And there's different shops that fit into the categories that I kind of talked about that these fit into. For example, Best Buy would be similar to Walmart, a large in-person operation with online retail as well. Etsy and eBay online marketplaces. You could have other ones kind of like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, where you can buy things from people locally, but have the interaction of agreeing on the sale online. So there's all sorts of ways you can shop online. Now, our last section is going to be talking about cybersecurity. So this is going to be pretty a general overview. And with everything we talked about, whether it was using search engines, shopping online, banking online, there are specific security concerns for each of those. And so when we're talking about them, we may consider different things for them. But there's a few things that are pretty broad and things we want to be careful about when navigating online generally. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So what about cybersecurity? Being knowledgeable about best cybersecurity practices is really key to keeping you and your information safe online. If you're equipped with the proper knowledge, you can browse online confidently and a lot more comfortably. So it's really important that you have these tools. That way you don't have to worry as much. When we're faced with the unknown, it can be scarier. When we're equipped with the tools to know what to look out for, it makes it a lot easier. And so that's what we're gonna go over. So we're just going to go over 3 common security risks and how you should deal with them or watch out for them. So first is malware. So malware is a type of malicious code or program written to alter the way a device operates. And it also can be designed to spread from one device to another. It can be used to just shut down devices and mess them up generally, or it can be used to steal or harness data from a device. Phishing is a practice of sending fraudulent communications that appear to come from a reputable source but don't, and they can trick you into giving over personal information, passwords, or sending money. And then lastly, we're going to talk about password attacks. So with the right password, a cyber attacker can access all the information on an account. This is also another big way that people get information stolen is by having a bad password or someone finding their password and logging into their account. So how would you combat each of these security risks? So first of all, malware. So malware is that stuff that gets onto your computer and infects it. The best ways to deal with this are to avoid clicking on unknown links and pop-ups. Say you go to a website and this thing pops up on your screen that says you've just won $1 million, or even it can sometimes say your device has been infected. If it's coming out of nowhere, it can be flashy. You don't want to click on that. So things that are unknown or unfamiliar, things you were not seeking out and just happen to pop up out of nowhere, you don't want to click on those things. You just back out of them and you should remain safe. Another great way to combat malware is to download antivirus software. So antivirus software can be really great at sourcing out risks and stopping them before they infect your device. So if that's something you'd like, it's really great to invest in some good antivirus software. And then of course, update your computer software as soon as updates become available. So if you're new to using your device, you may have not seen this yet, but you will see over time that every once in a while you'll get a pop-up on your screen that says you need to update your software. It's from your device itself, and you always want to make sure that you update that as soon as possible. You may be doing something at the moment and need to put it off for a bit, but don't put it off too long. This is the main way operating systems get updated to protect us and protect our security and data. So we want to make sure that we keep our devices as updated as possible. The next thing is phishing. As I said, these are fraudulent communications sent to try to trick you into giving information, giving up passwords, credit card information, anything like that. So with these, you really just want to make sure that you're reading things carefully. Specifically, these are sent very often via email. And so if you get an email from an unfamiliar person or even someone you know, there's a few things that you can look out for when you're getting there. So first of all, if it's someone you don't know and you're not sure what the communication is about, do not click on any links or any attachments in an email or online. You can look for in the writing of something, offers that seem too good to be true. I kind of mentioned that with the pop-up thing. You just want $1 million, something like that. Urgent or threatening language. If someone tells you you need to do something right away or your account will be shut down, stuff like that plays on our fears and gets us to not think. Strange links or email addresses that don't match the sender. So say you got an email that looked like it was from Amazon.com, but you noticed that the email address wasn't from an address that said at Amazon.com. And then, of course, spelling errors and grammatical errors. For all the effort they put into trying to scam you, much of the time, these scammers really don't check their spelling or grammar very well. So often that's a big sign. The language will just be a bit off. Grammar will be off, and sometimes silly or stupid spelling mistakes are made. So just so you can see an example of what one of these may look like, this is a scam email that looks to be coming from Amazon Prime. We can see at the top, it's not from an at Amazon.com website. That should be a first sign. It is promising us something that seems too good to be true for no reason. We're rewarding you with $100 in shopping points that can be used. And then you have these sketchy links at the bottom, and at the very bottom, you see that urgency. Don't wait, the link expires. So these are all sorts of things you can find that will show you or lead to you to believe that this may be false. And look, if it isn't false, then whoever's sending it, if it's really so urgent, they'll find another way to communicate with you. But for the most part, if you see this, just delete it, put it in spam, and move on. As long as you don't click on those links, you are safe. And then the last thing I talked about was password attacks. So this is when someone gets access to your passwords, either by just guessing it, because it's an easy one, or sometimes breaches can happen where passwords are exposed. And so it's really important to make sure you follow these kind of rules of thumb when it comes to passwords. So always when you're creating passwords, create hard to guess passwords that use a variety of character types. So letters, both lower and uppercase, numbers, symbols. It's really easy to just use the same easy password for everything because it's easier, but we don't want to do that. A great way to make a password that's easy to remember but difficult to guess is make it a really specific sentence and swap out certain things for symbols or numbers or letters. You know, right? I love pistachio ice cream. Use a 1 as the I, make the L on the love capital, or something like that. Something that's just super weird and specific to you that people probably wouldn't guess, but that you'll remember. It's also really important to change your password regularly. So every couple months or so, just in case it is involved in some sort of breach, and you can just make sure that it's changed and that any sort of person that may have gotten access to it previously no longer has the correct password. And use two-factor authentication where offered. So many websites will offer you what's called two-factor authentication. This is when you're able to secure your account through other means besides a password. So you can set a password, but also every time you log into the account, it will send you an email or a text message to confirm it's you. It just gives you an added layer of protection. This is really important, of course, on really sensitive accounts like bank accounts, any sort of financial account that you'll want to make sure you set up that two-factor authentication for. And then the last tip here is to use a password manager. So password managers are basically programs that allow you to store all your passwords. So you can create just one super strong password for the password manager. And then within that, it stores and saves all your other really strong passwords. So you don't have to remember them all. And it encrypts them and keeps them super safe. So that's another really great method to combat password attacks. So those are just a few of those kind of main cybersecurity risks. There's more, and there's more to be discussed. And we definitely can cover those in other sessions and have, so check those out. But that's just a basic overview. And lastly, my final tip just when being online in general is be diligent. Staying safe online isn't hard, and being online can bring us great benefits. So don't be afraid to go online and explore. Just be aware, be cognizant when you're online, be looking out for things, and enjoy. And if you liked this webinar, you could, of course, access more at our website, cyberseniors.org. And if you have any questions about what we talked about today, and you want to ask questions or explore more, you can always call us at 844-217-3057, or you can visit us online at www.cyberseniors.org. And of course, again, I want to mention that this webinar was proudly sponsored by Breezeline, and you can check them out once again at www.breezeline.com to find out what they offer. All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.